for inviting me to speak today. The day that everyone has and still wonders how we move from sorrow to happiness within minutes, and a day where we are now part of the family of the fallen, and we too try our best to move from sadness to extreme joy in celebrating our beloved country. My name is Chitiz. I am an ex-South African, and I made Aliyah to Netanya, Israel in April '87 with Clive and my oldest son, Yaron. This was my second Aliyah, as I had come as a student straight after high school. I am the mother of 5, Yaron, Daniel, Dovi, Yaeli, and Yaroni, and Safta Debbie to Amichai, Yedidia, Hallel, Erel, Yuval, Adam, and Shaya, Ken Yirbu. Yaroni is my last Lameki, as they say in Afrikaans, my Ben Skunim, as they say in Hebrew, and the youngest of my crew, all of whom grew up in Netanya. When Yaroni was 4, Clive and I got divorced, and Yaroni was raised by me, together with his siblings, with so much love and care. He grew up with no conflict, and was the young brother that everyone loved. The Chitiz 5 were extremely close, and were a model for all and loved by all. I called Yaroni my lifeline, as he was born a few months before my 40th birthday. He kept me young and on my toes. He and his siblings were the fuel that kept me going, as I went through one of my worst challenges, a divorce. I was so busy with them, thus leaving me no time to mope. Yaroni was my Yere Chopin, a child who loved the simple things in life, board games, riding his bike, family time, playing Scrabble with me on a Shabbat afternoon, singing. He had a beautiful voice, and the children would harmonize. Now that voice is missing. Israeli music, and especially the songs played on the radio on Yom HaShoah and Yom Hazikaron. Time out with friends, eating and preparing food, barbecuing, playing soccer, watching Liverpool. He was a crazy Liverpool supporter. FIFA soccer games. He loved Israel and hiking, and he loved reading in both English and Hebrew, and he especially loved the Guinness Book of Records, which he asked to be his annual birthday present, as he was born on the 2nd of January. He loved life, and he had the biggest smile. In his youth, he was a counselor in Bnei Akiva for children with special needs, and it was obvious to us then that he was truly gifted. It was here that we noticed his personality developing, his maturity, and his love for people. Yaroni was our masterpiece. He took the best characteristics of those who raised and nurtured him and molded them into his special and unique personality. He truly was our masterpiece. At the age of 17, he hiked the Mont Blanc Trail in the mountains of Switzerland, Italy, and France. He literally decided overnight that he was joining his friends. He trained hard, and he succeeded. Most people only do this well into their 40s. He enlisted into the army in March 20, at the beginning of Corona, after having spent a gap year and a half in a military preparatory course at the Machinani Risha. In the army, he stood out too. His officers noticed him. He excelled in all he did, and he was sent on an early commander's course, and he then became a commander for new recruits. Thereafter, he did an officer's course. Subsequently, he was selected to be a commander of an officer's course, and finally, he became a deputy commander of the Shaket Battalion in the Givati Brigade. The 7th of October caught him while on regular army duty. He had called us to say that we should stay inside, as terrorists had infiltrated into Israel. The 7th of October caught us by surprise, and from then on, our lives took on a different meaning as we learned to live in times of war. Yaroni was sent to the battlefield, and he was proud at having the opportunity to defend Am Yisrael. For me personally, the war brought on many challenges that were beyond my control: worry, uncertainty, anxiety, loss of appetite, and the unknown. Not being able to talk to nor see Yaroni was not easy, and this affected my concentration, my mood, and even my swimming. Somehow we all got used to the daily announcements of soldiers being killed, with the pictures of the fallen appearing in the daily newspapers. When sleeping at night, I kept on imagining that I was hearing knocking at my door, and I would run to the door to check. This carried on for months, or so I thought, but in reality, it wasn't even 3 months. Yaron and many other soldiers were not allowed home during the war. Eventually, after 80 days, his unit was told that they could go home for a weekend. He surprised me, and I was the happiest I'd ever been, as you all saw. The video of his homecoming went viral, and the whole world celebrated this excitement with us. And wow, what a weekend. Yaron came home exhausted, dirty, and hungry. Despite this, he hardly slept and made sure to do all the things that made him happy. Management of time was one of his specialities, and on this weekend, he managed to fit everything in. He saw both family and friends, played soccer, barbecued a few times, went to shul, got an aliyah, benched gomel, and in shul all sang song after song as they welcomed him home. On this Shabbat, my youngest granddaughter was named, and yes, the Chitiz 5 were all together again. I never realized then that those tears were happy tears. When he went back to the army on the Sunday morning, I wasn't at ease. I was worried, and justly so. I am a swimmer, and on Tuesday morning, December the 26th, while swimming, I felt a heaviness overcome me, and I was backing to swim. While swimming, I said to myself, swim, you don't know what tomorrow will bring. In the early hours of Wednesday morning, at 1:15 a.m., I heard the knocking. This time, I never ran to the door, and then they knocked again. I realized then that our lives had changed drastically. Yaron was killed at Tuesday evening at 7 p.m., 1 week before his 24th birthday. And the Hutala Pursuit was announced on the 6 o'clock news on Wednesday morning, December the 27th. In battle, Yaron saved an entire unit, as the terrorists who were on the roof were on their way down the building to attack the soldiers who were on the lower floor. They first confronted Yaron on a higher floor, and this encounter saved the unit. Yaron was killed together with 2 other soldiers, Ephraim Yachman and
Itai Bouton.
My biggest concern was whether he had suffered. We are told that from the magnitude of his wounds, he probably lost consciousness very quickly, and if so, then he probably didn't suffer. I have learned to look for the gratitude in my crazy situation. We can't question why he was killed, and despite our worst nightmare, I can still be grateful for so many things. He wasn't taken hostage, as an elite unit managed to retrieve his body after a 4-hour battle. Yaron's whole body came home, and this also enabled us to donate some of his organs. We were able to see him, touch him, and say goodbye to him. At Shura, which is where the bodies are prepared for burial, we sang, or should I say, we tried to sing, Hamalach HaGoel Oti. This is the song that is sung at night to children before they go to sleep. The ironic coincidence is that this song appeared in the Parashat HaTorah, Parashat Vayechi, the week that Yaron was killed. We are also extremely grateful that his phone survived the battle. He had left a letter for the family which he had written on his phone. I never realized then that not every soldier comes home like this. And so once again I say how grateful I am. He had a proper burial, and this too is not to be taken for granted. Through my personal pain, I have learned so much. The gratitude and privilege of being a mom to such a special human being. The one who was the glue in so many circles. He held us all together and was way mature beyond his almost 24 years. He was dedicated, motivated, and caring. He loved everybody. His older siblings looked up to their younger brother, who was a giant in life and even more so in death, as we learned more and more of his special character. I have been challenged so many times in my life. This was certainly the worst. And yet, I have immense strength. Not sure where I get it all from, but I've managed to hold myself together. So what gives me the drive and motivation to keep on moving forward? The water, my family, and my faith. And yes, the order does change. When going through the challenges of my divorce and my subsequent illness, I took to the water to save my soul. I joined a master swimming group and started swimming. I participated in national and international swimming competitions. I was gutsy. I wasn't fast enough, but I was determined. Slowly but surely I started improving, and then I attended my first open water swimming camp, and this opened a new door for me. I'm now officially a marathon swimmer, which is any distance over 10 kilometers, and I've completed the long cross of the Kinneret 4 times. This is a difficult 20.5-kilometer swim. At one of my swims in May 22, Yaron surprised me as he arrived at the finish. He was serving the south of the country, and he took whatever transport he could to get to me in the north. He literally spent the whole day traveling to give me his gorgeous bear hug, and then he had to return to his base. I'll never forget his excitement as well as mine, and now when I look back, I say, wow. All my swimming is now dedicated to Yaron, and I have a customized swimming cap with the slogan, "You'll never swim alone." This was adapted from the iconic anthem of Liverpool, "You'll never walk alone." Since his death, a few swims have been arranged in his honor, and it was amazing to receive the support of the Israeli open water community of swimmers. You saw the picture of the Magen David. That picture made the Israeli National Library. Just as our first year of mourning for Yaron was coming to an end, I once again took upon another challenge. I applied with a friend to swim the elite 20 Bridges Manhattan Island swim. This is a 46-kilometer swim in the East Harlem and Hudson Rivers, where you swim under the 20 bridges. We are both Israeli, females, and not very young, and I presume that was a draw card for the New York Open Water Committee. We got accepted, and the rest is history. We swam on July the 27th, 25, in a time of 9 hours. During the swim we ate, but as with all official marathon rules, you eat while treading water, and you cannot hold onto the boat or anybody or anything. We each had a kayak at our side, and our support boat followed from behind. My sister Tracy, who lives in the USA, was on our support boat. To date, this has been my biggest open water challenge, training non-stop from January to July, including a 20.5-kilometer crossing of the Kinneret as preparation, and all this while the war in Gaza was ongoing. When Iran attacked Israel in June 25, I honestly thought that my dream to swim the bridges would be shattered. It wasn't. And yes, we did it. Yaron was with us the entire time as flags bearing his face and slogan waved from side to side on both the kayak and our support boat. We did it with the support of our family, friends, and the Israeli open water community, most of whom were awake all night following our progress and waiting to see our phenomenal finish. We made ourselves and Israel proud. Up until the date of our swim, only one Israeli woman and 4 Israeli men had done the swim. Strength of mind got me through the swim along the East, Harlem, and Hudson Rivers, and I feel totally blessed. Hashem gives everyone challenges, and everyone learns how to handle them. In my case, it was literally sink or swim, and I chose to swim, literally and figuratively. Water is truly my source of life, and it has given me the strength to deal with so much, to handle and cope with loss, hurt, and pain, to give and receive, to believe in myself and be a beacon of light to others, to realize my failures and to try and be a better person, to follow my dreams, to acknowledge Yaron's greatness and the greatness of all of my children, to believe in Hashem, to get through Tefillot even when the words may be harsh, to appreciate my blessings, and to do only what makes me feel good. When thinking over my life's challenges, I always look forward and set myself goals. These goals have kept me going and have given me the much needed strength to cope with Yaron's death too. The longing for Yaron is endless, and we are constantly learning how to live with the immense loss. Our lives are now separated by a clear line. Life before Yaron's death and life after. Yes, we do smile and laugh, but our smiles and laughter are different. There are so many triggers. Being in shul, some of the words of the prayer is extremely difficult. For example, Hallel, and especially the words of Ma'ashiv, Lecha is Bach, Zevach Todah. Yisro has taken on a completely different meaning. Ritot and bar mitzvahs, soldiers saying Birkat HaGomel after returning from the battlefield, daily life, and now with the Yom Hazikaron, his name cast in stone, his name appearing on the road as one of the fallen, his name in the tekes, dedications to Yaron in benches and in books, his name appearing in the Hanan Ben Ari Lav, where you hear Hanan saying Yaron's name in the song Chutz Mikaduregen. His stickers are all over the world. We get visitors and gifts from people we don't know. And although we are well known in Renana, we have now become VIPs. And like I've said on many an occasion, we could have done without the status. Yaron's friends are now getting engaged and married. Chagim and family events are difficult. Family pictures are incomplete. The cursed month of December, where Yaron's Hazikaron, his English birthday and bar mitzvah date, all fall in within the same time range. Yom Hazikaron has always been a hard day for us, and I've always shed a tear with the sound of the siren. We now live it on a daily basis. Hostages having returned home. Various comments which trigger different emotions. My daughter Yaeli got married in our first year of mourning, and as you can imagine, this wedding was filled with every emotion imaginable. We remembered Yaroni, but we celebrated Yaeli. We are learning how to maneuver from happy to sad, and to enjoy life's special moments despite the immense difficulty. We witnessed the brothers singing very emotionally to her, with tears in everybody's eyes, and immediately thereafter the sounds of sadness turned into happiness as we had escorted her down the aisle. And now, the triggers of the Iran war, continuing sirens, and more China Brisum. This war shook me up quite a bit, as it did for all of us. I felt an unease, fear of the unknown, and living life not knowing what the next second was going to bring. When I could, I returned to the water. It did help, though I must admit I did not swim at ease. How can one when the next siren is not too far off? We now hold on to and treasure all the special memories of Yaroni, as we have chosen life and to carry on living. And now what remains is to keep Yaroni's legacy alive. The first initiative was the Yaroni barbecue, where we barbecued for soldiers. This was managed by volunteers and from funds raised. This project has been on hold. I think people got volunteered out. Hopefully we'll continue it again in the future. Our Haknasan Sefer Torah was held on January the 2nd, 26, on the day that Yaroni would have celebrated his 26th birthday. And what a celebration it was. Singing Zmirot Shabbat in his memory as he loved to sing. This project was born because on a Shabbat when he came home, everybody was talking. We just wanted to hear what he had to say. And at some stage, he banged his hands on the table and he said, it can't be that we sing more Zmirot Shabbat in Gaza than in Renana. He explained that they spent hours in the army vehicles with no food, no showering, no anything, and all they did was sing. We ask that you too sing in memory. It doesn't matter what song, just sing. The weekly parasha sheet written by family and friends in memory of Yaroni, all managed by Yaron. Running, swimming, and soccer events, and BH if no war happens by Friday. The second soccer tournament in his memory will be held. This was originally scheduled for March the 27th, but Yaron had other ideas for us. Is talking, writing, and being filmed. Only the last 2 nights we appeared in 2 different functions where movies were made of Yaroni. Musical events including Kurulams, a Hatsola, a Musach, a Sola medical kit, and a mother card donated by generous donors, some of whom we don't even know. The Yaroni Krupa is the latest project which I manage. It's being used by many couples. Most couples don't even know us. And within a period of 10 days now, in this current war, 4 couples were married under this Krupa. It bears the words, and I'm sure I'm going to make a mistake, Davei, Asar, Begam Charon, Va'az Ilem, B'shir Yaron, banish sorrow and fury too, and then the mute will exult in song. This chuppah was made by Terry Mashovsky and Karen Davidoff. It's a quilt, it's beautiful. If anybody wants to use it, you just have to message me and I'll send you the form. The Yaroni YouTube, which is managed by Yaron. We laughed at him in the beginning and didn't understand why he said, just send me a video. I don't care if it's a half a second or 10 seconds or 10 minutes, just send me. It has now had over 500,000 views. And kol hakavod, Yaron, because you were right. There we're keeping Yaron's memory alive. There's stuff that was done after, and there's plenty of videos of when he was younger. Many babies have been named after Yaroni. We had one made for Yaroni, and hopefully that will continue for the next Chagim. And the book, Ematem Korim et Hamilima Ele, containing the last letters of 49 soldiers, and which is now available in English, was printed in English in the last 2 weeks, under the title, If You Are Reading These Words. So we ask, please help us keep Yaroni's memory alive. He was killed so that we could live. Let's be more patient, tolerant, and understanding. Let us learn from his sacrifice. He did not hesitate to serve. He was proud to be part of Israel's history. I always end my speeches with my Am Yisrael Chai. I didn't remember that Yaroni also used this expression. So before I end with my usual phrase, I want to share a translation of Yaroni's last letter with you. My dear beloved family, who is supposed to teach a 23-year-old to write such a letter? What a special and fantastic country. I feel privileged to take part in the defense of the country, even if I complain all day that my bottom hurts from sitting in an Amer, an armored personal car, for 40 hours straight. I feel part of the history that is being written now about the state of Israel. Mom, Dad, Doron, Dandan, Dovi, Yaeli, thanks. Thank you for educating me about Kiddush Hashem, kindness and love for the land. It's all thanks to you, and the credit is yours. If it wasn't for the crazy family you are, who raised me up and didn't give up on me, and brought me up on values and love for the country, I wouldn't be where I am now, protecting the country, not in the grave, ha ha ha. I feel proud to fight Hamas under the banner of the Chitiz family and the people of Israel. Thank you for everything. You're a family that Israel can be proud of. To my friends, of which the name of the group is Sharim v'Maskidim v'Zichro, singing and eulogizing in his memory. That was the name of the group. They didn't know who was going to be killed first in which overseas trip. That's why it was started. Everyone who knows me knows that you're amongst the most important things in my life. You are the air that I breathe, the laughter, the genuine friendship. Dara, I love you. You are my life. You give me the strength to continue. I have no doubt that my future must be with you. I hope that this letter is irrelevant and that we will be privileged to share many years together and to have a beautiful family. I love you all very much. And now I will end with our Am Yisrael Chai.